Hi, everyone. Welcome to Building on Zoom, APIs, apps, and more. My name is Eddie Solomon. I'm the integration lead here at Zoom. Along with my colleague, Kavitha Kannan, we're going to tell you about our integration strategy, as well as the process for building apps on Zoom. We also have Paul Dornier from MeetingBird and Josh Lowy from Hugo. They've built integrations with Zoom, and they're going to be sharing their experiences with us. Let's start out with a question for our audience. How many of you feel you'd be more productive if Zoom had more integrations with your favorite products? All right. Would anyone care to shout out what those favorite products are? All right, good. So we've been working real hard to build the integrations that many of you have asked for. We're still in our early days, but we got quite a few, and we're continuing to add more all the time. Things are going well, but we do have our challenges. One of them being you, our customer, keep coming up with great integration ideas, and being the small company we are, it's been a little difficult to keep up with all the requests. Another challenge is making it easier for users to discover all the available integrations and simplifying the installation and setup process. A third challenge is continuing to make sure that our customer data is always secure, especially when integrating with other products. So how is Zoom addressing these challenges? We've built a brand new application marketplace. This will allow Zoom and third-party developers to build secure integrations with other products and make them available to Zoom users by publishing them on the marketplace. Administrators can now more easily find these available integrations and pre-approve them for use by their users. Admins will always have control over what apps their users can and cannot use. And of course, users can now more easily find all those pre-approved apps and install them directly from the marketplace. So on behalf of Zoom, we are very pleased and thrilled to let everyone know that our marketplace is live now. We've got about 20 apps there so far, and we're continuing to add more all the time. So now I'd like to hand it over to my colleague, Kavitha Kannan. She's the marketplace lead, and she'll be telling us about how to build apps on the marketplace.
Thanks, Eddie, for giving a wonderful introduction to our marketplace. Hello, everyone. This is Kavitha Kannan, and I'm the marketplace lead here at Zoom. In the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you all through the process of app creation workflow, features of our marketplace, and our approval process. In the end, I'll leave you all with some tips to get your apps approved on the platform. Before I start, how many of you here have experience building apps on any other platform? That seems like a good number. I'm sure you'll all be able to appreciate that work has gone in building this platform. Our platform is easy to use, both for the experienced and non-experienced. So let's dive in. Once you have a great idea to start with, all you need is to register your app on the platform. You'll be provided with a set of credentials to access our APIs. Browse through our API catalog, find which API meets your app's requirements. Once you've figured out the APIs, build and test your app. Add any marketing information that's relevant to your app. This might include screenshots, videos, or any description that describes your app the best. Submit your app for a review. Once reviewed, your app is live on the marketplace and made available for all the Zoom users. I'm sure many of you here would have used various Zoom resources. By resources, I mean our APIs. Which is your most favorite API? Okay, well, for those who don't know, Meeting is the most popular resource of ours. I'll walk you all through different resources which describe different use cases that describe resource usage. So our user management resource, A learning management system that wants to auto-provision teachers or students to create, manipulate, or delete user information or user data could make use of this resource. These kind of resources require admin-level privileges. Our robust meeting resource has many use cases, one of which could be a scheduling AI app that wants to schedule meeting on behalf of all the users in an account or wants to schedule meeting on behalf of the current user in an account. Based on the use case, they might require admin-level privileges or user-level privileges. A recording resource. A content management system that was interested in recording information could make use of this resource. They can either upload this information onto a different server or feed this information into a machine learning or AI system to extract more information out of it. A reporting resource provides past meeting information. This might include a list of participants in a meeting or a number of participants in a meeting and so on and so forth. An app that's interested in past meeting information could make use of this resource. Our chat resource is the newest addition to our API family. An external workflow system that wants to interact with the Zoom chat system could make use of this. An example could be Jira or a GitLab bot. Any event that's happening on the third-party system could be notified right into the channel that initiated the conversation. Now that we have browsed our APIs, your app might need to add some features to complete its functionality. Let's see what features our platform has to offer your app. Event subscription feature. An app that is interested on the events that are happening on the Zoom end could make use of this feature. All they need to do is to register for the interested event along with the webhook URL, so that on occurrence of the interested event, the event notification payload information could be sent to the webhook URL for the app to process the information. Chat commands. Let's take an example where you want to meet your friend in a particular location. You and your friend want to know what the weather is like in the location. To know this, all you need to do is to invoke our weatherbot Hippie and pass the location information to the bot. The bot will process this location information and send back a response to the channel that initiated the conversation. For this, all that it has to do is to register a / command along with the webhook URL, so that the location information could be passed to the URL and response can be got back to the group. Our scope feature enables the app to register with the exact set of functionality it is interested in. This helps the user to know in advance what data will be accessed from their account. How many of you here would think twice before giving an app access to your data? I'm sure I'm one of them who think twice before giving an app access to my data. At Zoom, how do we ensure we give secure access to our users' data for an app? We use secure and reliable OAuth 2 protocol to achieve this. Our OAuth 2 grant flow presents to the user the exact set of data that will be accessed from their account. Now, the user can now allow or deny the access. If the user decides to allow it, the app will go ahead and access this information from their account. If the user denies it, the app will not be allowed to access this information. Even after an authorization, at some point in time, the user decides not to let the app access their information, they can go ahead and deauthorize the app. During deauthorization, we send the app a payload information of the user asking the app to delete any data they've stored on behalf of the user. If the app, for whatever reason, decides not to delete the user information, they'll have to mention it in the privacy policy. We encourage the user to go through the app's privacy policy to know whether to delete their data or not. Now that we have seen our features and added our APIs, your app is almost ready to be submitted. Now let's go through our approval process to see how your app can be submitted and approved. Yes, the picture says it all. Yes, we have simple yet efficient approval process. We want to ensure we have good quality of apps on our platform. How do we ensure this? Once your app gets submitted, it goes to a functional testing phase where we test for the functionality of the app. Once it passes the functional testing, it goes to a security testing phase where we test for the security and we will check for any vulnerabilities that would expose our user data. Once it passes the security testing, our approver should be able to approve your app. During any of this process, if we need more information, our approver will contact the developer seeking for more information. Lastly, I want to leave you all with some approval tips to get your apps approved on the platform. Please provide us with enough testing information that's required to test your app. This might include any account information or data or setup that's required to test the app. As I mentioned earlier, any data retention or deletion during an authorization or deauthorization has to be mentioned in the privacy policy. Using the right client IDs. The platform provides two sets of client IDs, dev and prod client IDs. We understand each company could have their own development and production environments, and we encourage the usage of right client IDs in the right environment. Please test your app for any vulnerabilities that would expose our user data. Lastly, I cannot encourage enough how important it is to give clear usage instructions to your app. You might have developed a very powerful app, but failing to give clear usage instructions might not attract as many users as it should have. I hope this session was informative enough. Now let's hear it from our partners. I'm happy to invite CEO and co-founder of MeetingBird, Paul Dornier, who's here to share his experience of building on our platform. Their app has been the first one to be published on our marketplace, and they built a cool and a powerful scheduling app. Please welcome Paul Dornier.
Thanks, Kavitha. So I'm Paul Dornier, CEO and co-founder of MeetingBird, and I'm really excited to speak to you all today about how we've used the Zoom API and Marketplace to deliver a great meeting experience for our customers. Just a little bit about us to begin. We're an integrated calendar and scheduling platform based in San Francisco, and what we focus on is delivering the best scheduling and calendar experience to our users wherever they may need it. Along the way, the Zoom API has been an essential partner for us in delivering a seamless meeting experience for those customers. We started with a web application, meetingbird.com, where users could create and update scheduling links to schedule meetings faster and also manage their calendar. But we quickly realized that scheduling is happening in a lot of other places, and so we expanded to meet our customers where they needed us. This screenshot here is an example of the MeetingBird integration in Front, a powerful email platform for teams. Now, one of the things that we've noticed is that a great scheduling experience really depends on a great meeting experience as well. In other words, if one of our users uses MeetingBird to schedule a meeting, but the meeting with the customer fails because there's bad phone reception or because the web conferencing solution they're using has a bad user interface, the whole process isn't a success. And so with that in mind, the Zoom API has become this essential partner for us in guaranteeing a great meeting experience after a meeting is scheduled with our platform. To show you that, I'd love to run through a quick demo, and we'll take a look at the MeetingBird integration in Front. So I've got an email here from Amy Smith asking if I'm free sometime next week for a demo of a new product. And what I'd like to do is just suggest a few available meeting times for Amy to choose from. So I'll use the MeetingBird sidebar here to click Insert Meeting Times. And from here, I've got a week view of my calendar where I can just drag on any available times that I'd like to share with Amy. Once I've chosen some available meeting times, I'll go ahead and use the sidebar to customize the event details. So I'll give this a meeting topic of product demo, and then I'll scroll down to the location section and choose Create a Zoom Meeting. Behind the scenes, MeetingBird is going to use the Zoom API to automatically generate a Zoom meeting for this event when it's scheduled. Now that I've finished setting up these settings, I'll go ahead and click Insert Meeting Slots. And now I'll just include these potential meeting times in my reply to Amy. When Amy receives this email, either on web or mobile, she can just tap any of these potential meeting times to book a meeting with me instantly. And behind the scenes, we're going to generate a Zoom meeting automatically. So you can see the result of this is a calendar invitation that looks something like this. And all the Zoom meeting details are included in the location and description section of this calendar event. So it's an extremely seamless scheduling and meeting experience for both sides. Now that you've seen MeetingBird in action, I want to touch a little bit on our experience building on the Zoom marketplace. As developers, one of the biggest challenges we run into is with onboarding. So users are often forced to jump through all sorts of hoops, like entering API keys or confusing authorization dialogues. With Zoom, it's really simple. You have a page on the marketplace where you can include a helpful description and screenshots of your product. And from here, it's just one click to sign in and authorize MeetingBird and connect it to Zoom. So this is a much better onboarding experience that results in much higher conversion rates for our customers. The last thing I want to touch on here is that Zoom's user base is passionate and growing. So we see over 30% month-over-month growth in Zoom users on our platform. And even more interestingly, those users actually show 40% more engagement than the average user of MeetingBird. So the takeaway is that not only are Zoom users growing quickly within our platform, but they're also contributing a large amount of usage. Overall, we couldn't be more excited about the Zoom API and marketplace and look forward to continuing to see it grow. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul, for sharing your experiences. Our next guest speaker is the co-founder and CEO of Hugo. He's built a very nice meeting collaboration solution that's integrated with Zoom. He's now going to tell us about his experience in that integration. Please welcome Josh Lowy.
Thanks, Eddie. Hi, everyone. I'm Josh Lowy, co-founder and CEO of Hugo. Hugo is a meeting collaboration solution for teams. We help teams make the insights that they generate and decisions being made in their meetings shareable and actionable across the organization. A big part of what makes us different is integrating your team's daily apps into Hugo's connected notes. Helping our customers increase sharing from meetings and reduce reactive tasks has helped them cut their meeting wastage by 40% while becoming more customer-centric as an organization. I'm really excited to show you how we're going to take this now to the next level together with our friends from Zoom and why we've loved working with them so far. Let's get straight into a demo. Here I am in Hugo. It integrates with my calendar. You can see on the left-hand side, I'm going to select a meeting that I have with Cool Robot. And using a custom template, I'll get ready for my call. Now it's time to join the call. Using the Zoom integration, I'll do that straight from Hugo. Great. So now I've joined the Zoom call and I'm listening while taking my notes in Hugo. It looks like a feature request has been raised by this customer. Using Hugo's one-click actions, I'm going to highlight that part of my note, turn that feature request into a Trello card, and assign it to someone on the product team for prioritization. At the end of the call, I want to update people who weren't in the room. So I'm going to post this note to our Customer Insights channel in Slack and hit publish. Now let's fast forward a little bit. Someone on the product team is reviewing the feature request in Trello. A little bit more information is needed here. Using the link back to the Hugo note from which this card originated, this product manager can now go back to Hugo, read the note, and thanks to our Zoom integration, get more context by listening to the call recording from that meeting and get a full understanding around who made that request and what's the background on what their experiences were when they were making that request to someone else in my company. So as you can see here, the Zoom integration has helped us build on top of our core value proposition of closing the loop or tightening that gap between insight and action. I'd like to move on why we were really excited to work with Zoom. We started off by looking at our existing customer base and found some interesting information. First of all, a call in Hugo or a meeting in Hugo is 4 times more likely to take place on Zoom than any other conferencing provider. So we were really confident that this was going to have an impact. Second, Zoom meetings in Hugo are 22% shorter than non-Zoom meetings. So we were confident that we also had the attention of teams that care the most about meeting efficiency. And finally, a Zoom call on Hugo is just as likely to power an internal meeting as it is an external meeting. Internal meetings are a big growth driver for Hugo, and so that was really important to us. I'd like to move on to what it was like actually building with the Zoom integration. So the average customer that we talk to is managing between 60 and 100 SaaS vendors. And user-level authentication introduces a lot of friction when they're trying to set up a new tool or process for their team. With Zoom, the admin can enable the integration for the entire Hugo team, which makes a big impact on speed to adoption. When we talk to our customers about how we can improve our product and make their meetings better, naturally, call recordings and transcripts come up a lot, but it's not something that we were ever going to build. Using Zoom's rich API, not only could we provide this functionality to our customers within our product, but we did it in a number of weeks, which was really powerful. And finally, there's still a lot of productivity gains to be unlocked in the meeting space, and we're laser focused on that. And Zoom has given us a head start here with their approach to actually supporting a real developer ecosystem. Not only are they giving developers access to functionality that they're not going to build themselves, but they're giving us access to an audience as well, which is really important. So that's a quick run through of why we're really excited to be one of the first apps on the Zoom marketplace and why it's been a great experience for our customers so far. If you want more information, please visit hugo.team, or you come find me after this. Thanks for your time.
You could just stand. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh and Paul, for sharing your experiences with us. We are once again very excited to have all your great ideas to be transformed to powerful apps and be made available to all our Zoom users. Please visit us at marketplace.zoom.us, and we'll break open for a Q&A now. I request the speakers to join us for the Q&A.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Talk more about the presence, chat, and contact APIs. If you want to use them, develop different agents that talk to different Zoom, send messages during Zoom calls, will you do it through the SDK? Will you do it through the developing a backend app? What are the plans and how, as a developer, I should approach it if basically my app or the service I want to develop needs both presence information, contacts information, and being able to send and receive messages and start calls with specific people?
Yeah, so we currently do not have those APIs. That's currently done through the SDKs, but it's really more of, if we have a good case for adding REST APIs to be able to do that level of interaction, then we probably could add it. So you might want to probably have talks with us afterwards, and understand your use case a little more, and then maybe we can better determine what we can look at moving forward to address your situation.
So today you don't get rid of
Well, so we not for like the level that you can do on the SDKs. We don't have that level of REST APIs to be able to do that. Not today.
So we don't have in-meeting-based REST APIs. We are looking into it down the road. It's on the roadmap.
But I'd like to better understand your scenario, and then we can see what makes sense moving forward.
So
Any other questions?
For the marketplace, all those apps that are out there will be basically free apps to download from Zoom, and then the whoever develops it would have to deal with the licensing, et cetera, outside of Zoom, correct? Or is it going to be like a pay through the marketplace for those apps?
So right now, all the apps are free apps. So any payment that the developers, they want to make money out of it, it'll be handled by the owner of the app owner. So through our platform, it's going to be all free apps at this point in time.
I just have a quick question. Most often, the enterprise is challenged with multiple applications, right? Any enterprise can have Teams, Slack. These things, these APIs will address as a single depository for all these chats down the line.
So, okay, can you repeat your question, sorry?
I mean, like an enterprise can have multiple applications, right? Chat application, you can name it. It could be Cisco, it could be Slack, it could be anything, right? Do you guys ever figure out a way to be elected to use Zoom as a chat client? Can we use a third-party depository for those things?
So we are bringing in our Zoom chat system, like a bot system. So we do encourage third-party bot systems right now to be used on our marketplace. So we do have a plan for bringing in apps that will be talking to our Zoom chat system. Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we have some basic APIs today, but we're going to be enhancing those so you can do more capabilities to interact with our chat.
Yeah, I mean, that's a challenge, right? If you're in the banking industry, you have multiple depositories to collect all this data, right? So that's been a real challenge for us.
Okay.
Yeah, I think speaking to dashboard aggregation, for upward presentation within our organizations, can you, that's obviously important. Can you speak to what's on the short-term roadmap as far as APIs? What are the next availabilities that will be opening up with your REST API offerings?
So we do have dashboard APIs right now. We do have a lot of functionalities which will give you all the past meeting webinar information through our dashboard APIs and report APIs. We have it currently. And what is that you're looking for?
More so on the CSAT and some of the pass through on meeting quality, those types of quantitative.
I think it's today we have a lot of APIs on the dashboard end, which gives you a lot of metrics data, past meeting metrics data, and so on.
Okay.
So you can take a look at our API documentation. If you feel it's not available right now, whatever you're looking for, you can reach out to us. We can add it. But we have a lot of metric information already available through our dashboard APIs.
Perfect. I'll take a closer look at that. What can we expect kind of next short term on the roadmap? What will be coming down the pipe?
I don't have an answer right now to that question, but we can follow up on your question after the session. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
All right. I'll ask you. So real-time analytics, is that on the roadmap? Are real-time analytics and interrogating the codex or for status and availability and use?
Yeah, so we are planning to have real-time analytics, in-meeting status, and so on. It is on the roadmap. We are going to expose it. It is available via our SDKs today, but we are going to extend that to our REST APIs.
So what's available in the SDK? Does that include Onboarding?
So through all the in-meeting details, or whatever you want to know, the status of in-meeting information is available via our SDKs, APIs. So we will be extending those functionality to our REST APIs. That's something on the roadmap. We're still figuring it out.
Plan on extending Onboarding that comes from the system to rooms to the API? Right now, you don't have a partnership.
I think you're not that clear, audible. Could we use a mic?
So do you plan on exposing the alerts that come from the Zoom rooms via the API?
Yes, so actually, we already have in our notifications, there is a notification, well, maybe I shouldn't, we already have, I think it's coming soon, where alerts that come from the Zoom rooms can be received as a webhook notification, and you'll get information on that. Yeah.
Hi. So as a sysadmin, we utilize the APIs for user management, and there's a lot of functionality there. But internally, we have some users that also want to leverage the APIs. We don't necessarily want to hand them the same key and secret that we use. Do you guys have anything on the roadmap that would possibly allow kind of like a authorization level where they could only access certain endpoints, therefore not possibly removing any users or other types of management functionality that those APIs would offer them?
So through our marketplace, I explained to you a scope functionality. Any app could exactly access what data they want to access from Zoom end, from their account. So if the user have a Zoom account and what exact data information they'll have, it will be the app needs to access from their account. The app can mention that, and user can authorize it. So it is already available through our OAuth flow.
Right. What if we don't intend on publishing that application, mainly keeping it internal rather than publishing it to the marketplace?
So marketplace currently we support internal applications too. You don't have to really publish all your apps on the marketplace. We provide options to keep your apps internally. We understand that there are scenarios where people want to develop apps that are internal to their companies, just an internal app. They don't really even have to publish it. So it's not a mandatory to have all the apps to be published on the marketplace.
I see.
So it's just an option given so that the users, you can attract a lot of Zoom users to your app.
So we can essentially have a specified OAuth flow for them that's internal.
Yeah, we do have OAuth flow for that, all
Okay.
the internal apps, yeah.
Great, thank you.
Hi. Can you, are you able to pre-approve or restrict the apps on the marketplace?
Yes, so we have this pre-approval feature available to an admin of the company to whether they can turn on or off the pre-approval. We also have a global setting for the pre-approval if the admin of the company decides to have the pre-approval on totally or not. So it is all admin-controlled apps. So that's why we want to give the complete control to the admin of the company. We understand we have a lot of enterprise customers, and we want the control of the apps to be given to our admins. Do we have any other questions, or?
That's it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. So before we end the session, I just want to let you all know that our developer advocates, Ben Dean and Tim Slagle, Michael Pernell are standing by the side of the door. If you have any questions or you want to reach out us out, please leave your contact information with them. Thank you once again.